How are y'all? The ducks and the geese are being promoted to outdoors. We're going to attempt that. I think they're about 3 weeks old now, and they've outgrown their indoor enclosure, and the smell is about to drive us crazy too. So we went and bought a little swimming pool, and I'm putting up a little rinky-dinky fence for now, just to hold them in. And this was a deal I built, extra shelter last year or whatever. I'm gonna put a door on that, and that'll be their nighttime. And then we'll put a heat lamp in, hang a heat lamp, so if they get cold, they can go in there. So anyway, never.
Looks like you've got extra help.
Yeah, they're all goats are so curious. They kind of Gordon the buck. He gets in your way a little bit, but he's all right. He's just trying to help. So um, anyway, it's nice outside. I think it's gonna be like 68 degrees today. So no wind. What you been doing over there? Staying in that gate?
Yeah. So you're
Oh,
also going to include the baby ducks and the geese in here.
yeah,
We've also got some baby guineas,
yeah.
but they're not ready to come out yet.
No, and they'll go in with them probably, won't they?
I don't know.
Not now, but they're a couple of weeks away from me being. They were out a little while ago. I think they got scared. When you're driving T-posts, y'all probably know this. Let the driver do its work, do its job. You don't have to physically exert yourself doing it. It weighs enough to where it'll drive the post itself. And for God's sake, do it after it rains or when the ground's wet. Don't try to do it in the summer. Like trying to drive these things into a driveway, concrete.
So because you're doing a temporary, you're not putting those wire clips on those to hold them together.
Man, these are your best friend right here. Zip ties of all sizes. They make big ones. They make these size right here. And for small animals, I can if I want to move my fence, I'll clip these off and move my fence. T-posts come out of the ground fairly easy and move the fence. So this is temporary. It's not going to be pretty, but it'll do the job for a little while. So, and I'm sure the ducks and geese will be a lot happier out here than they are in that enclosure inside the house.
And so will we.
I mean, that thing's about that tall, and in 2 weeks, those one of the geese is about that far from sticking his head out the wire that I've got on the top. So they've grown that much.
We'll show you those as once he's finished and as they come out.
Kind of make this roundy.
All right, the mic wasn't working, so we're sneaking in here to see what Richard's up to.
What I'm doing here is deciding how I'm going to put the door on. Flip down with a ramp or open from the side door, which I eventually did. The shed that I'm using is repurposed. It was a pig shed for a pig that we separated from the other herd because it was a meat pig. And so I'm going to put a door on it and put some hay in it and a heat lamp, and that will be the shelter for the ducks and geese.
The ducks and the geese are out, and now we just have the 3 guineas that are in here. We have cleaned out all the bedding, got them under a light, and they're nice and happy. In the incubator, we have 32 eggs that will be hatching. We're presently on day 10, so in 8 days, we will pull them out off of the rotator and lay them flat for them to start hatching. And soon they'll be joining the guineas. Here we have the chickens running around outside. We do allow our chickens to free range. Those are all the Rhode Island Reds. And then we have one white chicken out there by itself. Richard has built me a gate for my berry patch, and I'm having to stain it. The color was too bright to go with the fence itself. After the stain was completed and dried, Richard came back over and put the door onto the fence. He did a great job building this. On the very top, there will be a board that connects the two posts together, and I'm going to be looking for a sign, or maybe even have one that says berry patch, and I will place it on that top there. He did put a nice little handle on it. And inside we have 15 blueberries, and each one of them is covered in pine bark. I've gone through and watered them in really well. As you can tell, I have each one of them marked with their names, so that way I can go through and see as they're producing which ones that are actually doing well. Now every one of them are different. I think we've got 5 different varieties, so we have plenty to test and see what grows well in our climate. They're already putting leaves on. Let me get this out so I can see what these are. Make these visible. They look good. Now over here, this is a fig tree. And I have 2 grapevines. This is a black one here. The other one was a green one. We will build a terrace there for that. This is huckleberry plants that I got from seed and grew in the greenhouse and got those planted. This here, I put the markers on top so I can see what those are. This is a blackberry. And then over here is a raspberry plant. I've marked it up there so I can always tell what it is. Now, I've given this plenty of room to grow. Raspberries do require a trellis for them, and they also will grow underneath and spread. So I've given plenty of room for that area for those to be able to grow and spread. They'll cover quite a bit of this fence. Everything looks good. We will be adding strawberries in here at some point. They've been ordered, but they haven't come in. And I've still got to stain the backside of that fence. But he got everything fenced in, and it looks really good. Very happy with everything. We are in an area where we have quite a bit of deer. If this was left not fenced in, the deer would be in here eating these as soon as they'd probably be down to the ground. The other problem that I have is I have goats, so keeping this fenced in is the only way I can have a berry patch. So this is my berry patch. So let's check on the babies. Oh, they look so good. This is so much more room than what they had previously. We came in here and we lined it with hay that's easy to pull out if we need to when we clean it, which previously we were cleaning daily. This should slow down some. We ended up putting a heat lamp in the corner. It is it's clamped in, and it's also stripped in a couple different ways, so it should not fall. We did suspend the feeder from the ceiling with a bungee cord, and we added 2 waters. Now this one is a water bucket that I saw on Facebook where you cut the sides out and then they just able to stick their heads in here and get their water, and it's less messy. So it was either on Facebook or YouTube that I saw that. And then they have the regular watering. But as they age and grow, we will adapt and change this. The heat lamp, like I said, is there. It'll keep them warm through the evening. There is some ventilation hose up there, so if it gets too warm, it does let the heat out. It is also very important to have ventilation inside any container you have for your ducks and geese because they get wet and the moisture will cause too much humidity in it and they can get too warm. So always provide ventilation in your housing for them. All right, let's look at the chickens. These are the chickens that the video that we have has where we hatched them. They were laid by our own chickens. They're a mixture of some are Rhode Island Reds and some of them are Easter Eggers, and then we've got a mix of the two. So these are barnyard chickens now. They're doing well. They're feathered out completely. No problems at all. Chickens are so easy to raise. They're much easier than the ducks and the geese and much cleaner. The geese poop everywhere, constantly. As a matter of fact, when you move them, you get poop on you. There's poop on my legs. It dripped down the leg. It's all over my shirt. There's poop everywhere.
Day's done. Well, it's about 4:45 and day's done. We got all the ducks and the geese out. Got a little pen built for them. Y'all saw that earlier, but they're out there, seem to be happy. Got a heat lamp and all that in case they get cold. And got Missy's gate put on, and the berries are all planted. I think she's got a few left to plant, but for the most part, it's been. Whew, we may have put them out there too soon, but Missy thinks so. I don't. I think they'll be fine with the heat lamp and all that. But she's real careful with them. So if they die, it's my fault. I ain't gonna let them die either. They're sweet.
So, but what was your experience with? How do you feel about having ducks again?
Well, like I said earlier, I kind of regret getting them for now, but I'm sure we'll be fine with them once they get grown. It just added extra chores. The geese make a big mess, and keeping them inside the tub we were keeping them in, they outgrew it. And I mean, we've only had them 10 days, and they're probably 2 weeks old, and they're 5-6 times the size they were when we got them. You saw how big they are, and it was unfair. It was inhumane to them to keep them in that tub, so I figured being outside would be fine. So they're in there. They've got that little pen and with some hay and a heat lamp, and they got more room to roam around and all that too. So just keeping predators away is the most important thing. So I've got some poultry netting that I'm gonna put on the top, and hopefully that'll keep like hawks and stuff like that from trying to dive down. But we'll keep them pinned up during the day, and when we get home, let them out for a little while, but only under supervision, and go from there. We're new to this as far as the geese and the ducks go. I mean, they're not food animals unless something bad happens, but they're for geese are supposed to be predator alerts. They're loud, and so we'll see. But we've seen pictures of what they're supposed to look like, and they're going to be beautiful. But I just poured me a bowl of cereal. I'll fix sit down and eat and relax, and I got my shower, and hopefully that's all Missy's got for me today because I'm done.